This is the story of Final Fantasy XIV, Stormblood, patch 4.4, Prelude in Violet. Now, where we left off at the end of patch 4.3, Y'shtola said she was going to go to Doma to study summoning relics. Aplhinaud and Maxima were attacked by other Garleans and are now traveling with Shadowhunter, and Thancred has snuck into Garlemald to find out what's going on with Aplhinaud. Let's get started. Alice is going crazy, wondering if Aplhinaud is okay, while totally unable to do anything about it. A messenger arrives to say the Scions are being asked to meet with the Eorzean Alliance to discuss Ascians and the fact that Zenos' remains are missing. As the messenger leaves, Riol gets a ring on his link pearl from Thancred. He has important info to discuss, so the heroes head to Alamigo to meet with him before the Alliance meeting. Thancred starts by recounting tales of other provinces who have attempted rebellion from Garlemald and failed, but hope is not lost, as many are still fighting and now Ul'dah and Gridania are sending supplies and aid. Then he says that in Garlemald, the Populares have suffered a setback. Since a primal was summoned in Doma, cries for retribution drown out their voices.
And who do they think orchestrated this summoning?
Oh, any but those truly responsible. Zenos has seen to that.
Thancred says Zenos walks in plain sight like he never died, and it must be that an Ascian wears his skin. Concerning Aplhinaud, he says it appears he never arrived. He says he heard a crackle of Aplhinaud on his link pearl, but only 2 words came through.
The burn.
There's no time to waste. We must make for the burn at once.
Alice and the hero head to the Doman Enclave to ask Hien about how to reach the burn. They run into Y'shtola, who says that local miners are claiming that the crystals they find have no ether. She also says that in her research into summoning relics, she's learned that they can be used to summon a primal even when the user has no faith, as was the case with Yotsuyu. Then she joins the hero to speak with Hien. Once Hien is brought up to speed, he says legend has it that the burn became a desert from too many summonings in the once lush area, and it was this site that moved Emperor Solus to begin the crusade against Icons. He says the only choice is to go there, and the best way would be by bird.
Everyone, land where you can! We must wait out the storm!
The heroes fight their way through the burn, and at the end they encounter and slay a mist dragon. Yugiri points out the ship that bore Aplhinaud crash-landed not too far off and says they've already inspected it.
But there was no sign of him, nor of Maxima and his people.
There may be clues. We should split up and search the area.
After inspecting bodies in the field, they determined that Garleans were on both sides of the struggle, and one side was the Emperor's personal guard. Since Aplhinaud is long gone and Yugiri has shinobi spies in Garlemald already, they decide to return to Doma.
Where in the world are you, brother? If you die on me, I will never let you hear the end of it.
Lise! What brings you here?
She says the Eorzean Alliance requests Hien's presence, but turns the subject to Aplhinaud. Lise asks why Emperor Varus would have his personal guard attack, putting his own diplomacy mission in jeopardy. Yugiri says they also answer to Zenos, so it was probably his order. Hien says in Garlemald, they're all concerned about the primal that they've been brainwashed to believe was summoned by a Doman.
And it is this version of events that is now being repeated across Garlemald. To hear the tale, one would think the prisoner exchange never took place. Plainly, someone is manipulating matters from the shadows. Most likely Zenos, or whoever it is that wears his face.
He laments that his chance at peace for Doma has been stolen by an Ascian, then turns the attention to Lisa's mission here. Lise explains that Alamigo is joining the Eorzean Alliance, making it 5 nations strong, and they wish for Hien to attend the meeting. He of course accepts the invitation. After the meeting, Lise asks to speak to the hero in private. She says she's worried about Alice and wants the hero to look after her. She reminds her of herself in many ways. Once the hero reassures her, she leaves, and the hero returns to Hien, who's planning on shoring up his defenses before leaving for the meeting. Concerned that Garlemald may retaliate at any time, he wishes to strike up alliances with Doma's neighbors.
I am under no illusion. Not all will answer the call. Yet disparate though we may be, we are united in our desire for freedom.
Alisei says even with an alliance they can't compete with the Garlean airships, but Y'shtola says she may have an answer to that. She explains that she found Allagan ruins in the burn that had an etheric signature identical to that of Azus La, of all places.
For locations so far removed to share a single etheric signature is all but impossible. I conclude, therefore, that the Allagans created the floating continent with land taken from the burn.
She explains that there's a generator where they may be able to set up an energy barrier at the burn, similar to the one protecting Azus La. Hien then says the Garleans would not be able to fly around it because of fuel limitations. When Y'shtola says they have no way to power the generator, especially in the burn which is devoid of ether, Hien says he has an idea, one that would require a visit to the Azim Steppe.
Which would, I now see, present the perfect opportunity to discuss an alliance with the Zayla tribes. How very neat. What say you then? Shall we see whither this road leads?
Alisei says she'll visit Garland Ironworks to see if they can get the generator functional, while the others journey to the Azim Steppe. At the Azim Steppe, Y'shtola is impressed by the landscape, so Hien can't resist taking her to his favorite spot.
I will never tire of this vista. The endless fields, the boundless skies. 'Tis a sight to make a man forget his cares.
Might this be a fitting moment to tell us what we are doing here?
Hien tells them an ancient legend from this area of a wayfaring soul whom Nama gave a sliver of her essence. He used the sliver to carve up a tainted land from the earth and later to give a blood offering to the heavens.
A tainted land cloven from the earth and an offering of blood to the heavens. Azus La and Alamud. And you believe that yonder mountains hide an artifact possessed of sufficient power to raise Azus La up to the heavens? I suppose that might suffice.
They agree to proceed, and they start by speaking with Sirena of the Mole tribe. After hearing their plans, Sirena tells them of a nearby cave that has pillars of stone, which legends say were the source of Nama's power. She warns them, though, that some of the tribes of the steppe would be offended by their use of those sacred pillars and may not join the alliance Hien seeks. They decide just to inspect the pillars, then try to win the tribe's allegiance before using the pillars. It doesn't take them long at all to find the site and behold the pillars.
Such an abundance of ether. This is an Allagan artifact, most likely built to regulate the flow of ether.
Returning to Sirena, the heroes ask about winning the allegiance of the tribes. Sirena says the Datharl tribe is the key, as they are the most fervent worshippers of Nama. The heroes head south to meet with the Datharl tribe. Sadhu, who speaks for the Datharl tribe, says she's fine with leaning on the power of Nama to defend their lands. As for joining the alliance united against Garlemald, she would have something in return. Being exceptionally warlike, it's no surprise when what she wants is a fight with the hero one-on-one.
Is this truly necessary? Have you no peaceable way of making decisions?
Speak not of peace! You stand before proud warriors of the Datharl. In the heat of battle do our souls burn brightest!
After some time, Magnai intervenes.
Enough! You were not granted leave to set the steppe ablaze.
Be gone, Moonstruck Oranir! I am busy!
Fool of a Datharl! Have you forgotten the face of your master already? The sun will never set! From his seat on high, he reigns over all, now and forever.
As he charges in for battle, Hien stops him and says this is a one-on-one arrangement, but Magnai the Sun and his wingmen engage with Y'shtola and Hien while the hero continues his fight.
The sun is in good company. We may dance alone.
I have not the patience for this, but if we must fight, let us at least be brief. Come.
After the heroes win both matches, the Datharl are happy to join the alliance, and even Magnai the Sun agrees to join. Suddenly, Magnai becomes fixated with Y'shtola. Believing himself a god and Nama's mate, he asks her a funny question.
Are you Are you my Nama?
I beg your pardon?
He praises her grace on the battlefield, then asks again if she is his love.
I am. Not interested, little son. Try again when you've become a man.
Little?
Little son! Little son!
He draws his weapon to fight, but the heroes have had enough drama, so they press on. Back in the Mole tribe's hut, Hien thanks Cyrena for helping him secure the allegiance of the tribes. They then return to the ancient pillars. Y'shtola confirms that Ether will channel freely to the burn now. They regroup with allies at the Doman Enclave. All news is good. Alysae secured the support of a team of engineers from Garland Ironworks, and she's happy to hear that the other heroes secured both the tribe's allegiance and the energy source. Yugiri reports she's gotten a few neighboring nations to agree to join their cause, but others refused. Now that his defenses are secure, Hien plans to leave for Alamigo to join the meeting of leaders. At the Alamigan quarter, the heroes speak with Thancred briefly, then head inside. The Sultana thanks Lys and Roban for Alamigo joining the alliance, then Hien formally introduces himself. After some kind words are spoken about Aplhinaud and the Scions, Hien tells the leaders about the ambassador, the summoning, and unrest in Garlemald. Sir Aymeric and the Sultana go straight to the source of all these woes, the Ascians.
All here have felt their blighted touch. It was the bringers of chaos who nurtured the Archbishop's tyrannical ambitions. They who bestowed upon him the secrets of summoning, as they have so many others before and since. And while they remain, we shall know no peace.
The Ascians are seen as a long-term threat, but Thancred has a plan for what to do now.
We dispatch the shinobi to Imperial territory. There, they sow the rumor that the Crown Prince perished in the battle for Alamigo, and that the man parading around is in fact a corpse inhabited by a servant of darkness.
Well, it does have the ring of truth about it. And were the Garleans to learn that their future ruler is a puppet, the Empire would be shaken to the core.
Further, he says they will likely believe this true story since rumors of Xenos' death were already spreading before.
I'm for Master Thancred's proposal. We shine a light upon the Ascian and test the Empire's unity.
The hero enters a vision like none he's ever seen. A voice tells him that twin dooms are coming and history must be changed.
What's the matter?
There's a voice!
Throw wide the gates that we may pass.
Stunningly, the Scions snap back all in sync, all having witnessed the same vision, then Thancred collapses.
Master Thancred!
Bear him to a private chamber. Have every healer make ready.
Moments later, the Chirurgeon reports that Thancred is unconscious but otherwise in good health. They cannot find any cause for his condition. He leaves, and the Scions explain to Khan Isena that all of them had an intense headache, then heard the mysterious voice.
Your testimony confirms my suspicion. That which you experienced was, I believe, your soul being plucked from your flesh. Called.
She says she examined Thancred, and it's as though his soul has been separated from his body.
The owner of the voice, whoever it may be, reached out to you, called your souls, and in so doing, caused you and yours such pain.
But there's no clue as to who owns this voice and to where they are being called. Alysae rings Urianger on his link pearl to tell him, but shockingly he felt it too, far off in Thanalan. They agree to immediately meet at the Rising Stones to talk this all over.
Urianger! Gods, it's good to see you.
You heard it too, then?
Urianger has no idea what's going on either. Y'shtola mentions that she has observed thin ether at certain locations in the Far East, and Urianger says he's observed the same thing here in Eorzea. They also have no idea why that is happening.
Y'shtola! Urianger! Open your eyes!
Alysae and the hero find that these two have now gone unconscious as well. Alysae is despondent, but a moment later she suggests that they head to Limsa Lominsa to pay a visit to someone.
Gabu, it's been too long.
She finds that there has been no change, but refuses to give up hope. Alysae talks about the challenges she has faced before and is facing now.
But to have the people I hold dear struck down before my eyes, and be powerless to help them, that I cannot bear.
The hero gives her some encouragement, and they return to the Rising Stones. Meanwhile, in Garlemald, Xenos asks the Emperor to give the word so the Empire may bring its full might to Ala-Mhigo and rip the nation apart. As he hesitates, Xenos says as an Ascian in this body, he has power and now is the time to strike. He leaves frustrated.
I should be the one to sigh. I played my part to perfection. I had earned my rest, and then thanks to Lahabrea's crowning act of idiocy, our favorite emissary sees fit to summon me back. Elidibus was ever a warrior. A most tiresome trait, would you not agree?
This mysterious man talks about Varus knowing his place, and how he has ample means at his disposal but will not act. It is then revealed that this is Solus himself, the founder of the Garlean Empire and an Ascian.
The founding father was an Ascian, and he created the Empire solely for the purpose of sowing the seeds of chaos.
You fiends are overfond of your own voices.
Such a waste of time and energy, both yours and mine.
Solus tells him their goal is merely to restore mankind to its rightful state. Outside Garlemald, Aplhinaud and Shadowhunter approach a resistance encampment. They find it filled with lifeless bodies with no wounds. Shadowhunter reveals this could only be Black Rose, a secret superweapon that kills instantly with gas. He says such an atrocity must have been committed by Ascians, and for this he and Aplhinaud are united in purpose. And patch 4.4 ends there. Thanks for watching. If you want to find out what happens next, check out the story video for patch 4.5. See you next time.